Welcome to the School of Magical Arts. Last we left off, the party had finished a test of sorts in which they had to go into a dungeon and find their way out. Successfully doing so, they were each gifted with a small diamond worth about 50 gold pieces, and it's kind of where we ended up. The last session took the whole kind of stretch of things. But anyways, let's quickly just say hi to all of my wonderful players who are returning for session 3. Thank you again. So we've got Greg. I gotta do this the right way. Greg. Mason next to him. Say hi. Okay. Firefly Retro down below. And Dave over there in the corner. Thank you very much. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, we find ourselves in the arena here at the School of Magical Arts. The portal starts to glow again as you guys are receiving your prize, and another group of students step out. You see a familiar halfling female that, what's his name? Evan was friends with, or befriended, in one of the earlier sessions. Cornelia, along with several of her teammates, step through, and they are likewise gifted with their prize. They were, as you all were as well, the prize of the gold, or the 50 gold piece diamond. What are you guys up to, having finally made your way out? There are a few other groups of students milling about, some who presumably got through before you guys, some maybe come to watch people emerge.
I look to the rest of the party and say, I'll meet you guys at the watering hole. I gotta go talk to the forge master real quick.
Yes, food sounds awesome. I'm starving.
I could eat.
It'd be pretty good.
So yeah, Evan leads the way on going to the cafeteria.
And as you are kind of making your way, Cornelia will run up and, Evan!
Yes.
Where are you guys off to?
Food.
Oh, good. I was going to meet my cousin and a friend of his at the Arcane Gate. Are you guys up for a drink and some food there?
Of course. Naturally.
Sounds good. So she'll kind of fall in the line with you guys, leaving her group behind. She's tucks the diamond into a belt pouch she's carrying.
Oh, you got it too.
Yeah. Apparently, anyone who made it through did.
Awesome. And I, the whole time, I began just rattling off, theories and whatnot about the entire thing. possibilities about even making some kind of teleportation device out of a floating disc and portals and this, that, and the other.
Just following along behind quietly.
Yeah. Cornelia kind of like will rattle back whenever she can get a word in about her own thoughts and theories about the this kind of weird space, and she starts talking about how it must be some sort of extra dimensional kind of plane that they have developed for this, and she's
for sure
on
it has to.
Various theories with you as you guys make your way towards the Arcane Gate. On the other side, Golem, you arrive at the smith, the workshop there. You see these massive, like, double doors that are kind of beset upon the front of it. What are you aiming to do?
Is the Forge Master here? The giant.
If you go in, you will see the large blue-skinned giant there, kind of working over the forge. Slowly, he's still working that same sword, but it's now taken a much more definitive shape, looking more and more like it's nearing the final stages of completion. And he'll pause, and he's looking over it, and then he sticks it back in the fire and then glances over. Oh, hello.
I just came to see how the sword was coming and to grab my tankard, because me and my friends just finished the trial thingy.
Oh, yes.
And we're going to celebrate in the watering hole. So I need my tankard.
Very nice. I take it you all succeeded and came out alive.
There was a giant spider.
Ah, yes. I've heard of the spider. Sadly, I'm a little big for that particular test. My type has a different one. But I have many colleagues who have even fallen unconscious due to that spider. Can't be too hasty going through these dungeons.
Great. I'll be back later to work on some forging, but first, to go see my friends.
Well, enjoy, little one.
And with that, I'm going to grab this intricately designed tankard that I left at my forging station before.
Cool. Yeah. And he will, as you kind of make your way out, he grabs his tongs and pulls out the sword, and as the door shuts behind you, start hearing ding, ding, as he starts hammering out, the next bit that he's working on upon his sword. The other three arrive prior to Golem getting there. So you are able to make your way over to the Arcane Gate. And let me bring that one up. So you walk in the doors. So you come up upon this building. And the front has a bunch of like runes and symbols upon it. Various different arcane runes. And the doorway is kind of made to kind of look like one of the portals that you guys pass through. And as you step through the door, there's a fountain in the front area, and there is you can already hear, despite that it's kind of early-ish in the day, you can already hear the soft din of various individuals in the background already talking and having a good time and drinking. And there's people here and there, like, various races, various looks kind of scattered around the general area at various tables. Cornelia will kind of run ahead and stop in the opening of this where the room opens into the the chairs, the lobby kind of area. And as you guys look out, you see rows of tables, and many of them are filled. There's a few that are empty. There are like large barrel-looking tables, circular, that are like around the outskirts of the room with circular like stools there. There are 2 sets of stairs that lead up, and above you can kind of see there's a chandelier hanging down in the middle of the room, but directly above that is like a circular almost platform that hangs out over the rest of the area, and there's a like lobby lounge area that's kind of up above there, and you can see some people sitting up top next to the railing of this opening, and you can see the backs of some like nice looking couches. This bottom floor looks a little bit more utilitarian, not necessarily as nice and as expensive looking as on the second layer. From what you can see, there's like pillows and like low tables in this circular area, and you can see the backs of couches on the second level. Cornelia will look out, and after a moment or two, she spots off to the side in one of the circular tables. You'll see she sees another halfling that's sitting on top of one of these tall stools. It's actually been kind of like twisted around a few times so that it gets a little higher, like it's got an elevation change option so that a halfling could actually sit at this barrel, although feet dangling very far off the ground, but yet can sit at level. And there is a kind of a yellowish, almost goldish skinned tiefling sitting with them, with like a gold with slight bits of like red embroidery, like vest on, but like no shirt on underneath, and a very like fit looking tiefling that's kind of like sitting lounging with like a goblin in his hands. And the two are laughing, and she points over to him. So, oh, there, that's my cousin over there. That is Darmond. Come on. Darmond.
Okay. Who's the other one? That's a tiefling.
Oh, that's his friend. Yes, he's harmless. Ladok. Yeah, I will put that in chat for you guys.
Thank you.
So that you have my probably abominating spelling, but that's how. So she will lead you over to that table. And as you approach, the two individuals sitting there will, to get this so I can move the chat, and of course, there we go. As she leads you guys over towards the table, I'll just bring you over. I'll drop a couple of tokens just to show where they are. I'll do this as the tiefling, and I'll just go with this one for her cousin, and she will be this one. And she'll climb up next to her cousin.
Yeah, hop up on one of the stools and start awkwardly spinning, trying to get it to go higher so that I can see.
Yeah. And as she walks up, her cousin like reaches over and starts spinning the one next to him so that she can climb up and be of appropriate height. She'll walk up. Darman, we passed. This is Evan.
And
And
immediately pop my hand out and says, "Hi, I'm Evan. Pleased to meet you."
Darman will kind of reach over her, and it's almost like he has to kind of stand up and prop himself on the table to be able to reach. Reach over and shake your hand kind of across the table a little bit.
And immediately right after I do that, I look at the tiefling, and I'm like, "You're a tiefling, right?"
Well, yes, whatever gave me away. And he'll kind of like stroke the like ram horn that's kind of like curled around his ear, and his like long kind of like golden hair.
Absolutely amazing. I'm Evan, by the way.
I'm Ladok, and who are these friends of yours?
I just sort of like sputter out, I'm Ryland while spinning round on the chair, like I say it as I'm spinning.
Yes. Pleasure
We
to meet
floated together. It was awesome.
The trial, yes. Those are fun times. Anyone fall during your trial?
Oh, no, we had it all figured out.
Very good. And so we've got Rylan. And who's this magnificent golden or bronze dragon here?
So he just he doesn't respond. He moves further into the middle. Well, I guess the other side of the table. He doesn't sit at the table, but he sort of sits reversed on the nearby like bench, facing the group. But, not really engaging. Just sort of listening, being there. Being brooding.
Oh, well, yes. Darman kind of looks over. All right, well, drinks. All right, drinks. And he'll kind of wave his hand up. And shortly a, like, female human will kind of walk over, kind of wearing a kind of loose-fitting skirt, kind of a loose shirt that kind of cuts a little bit low, just like hinting that she's got some sort of cleavage, but it's not like tight and like, you know, overly showy. She's got like a waist apron on that she's got, you know, a few things tucked into, and she walks over. Well, Darman, what can I get for you? And he goes, well, I'll have another ale. I'm sure Ladok is going to have one of his candied wines. And whatever the rest of the group gets, and put it on Ladok's tab. And the tiefling kind of glared at him and waved his hand like, okay, fine.
I look at the... What is she anyway?
A human.
So, you got one of those really, really wild drinks, you know, with a bunch of stuff in it that you can actually eat?
That you can eat?
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a full kitchen. There are drinks.
Oh, okay. So I have this theory. Let me walk with you. Where's the kitchen at?
You don't go into the kitchen.
Okay. Well, and I pull out my notepad and my sketchbook and start drawing her what I want and naming off the little items and stuff like that to add into the drink, and then the layers and stuff like that.
While he's doing that, I'll just say I'll have an ale.
Ale? And she glances over at Wolverax. And you, sir, can I get you anything?
So Wolverax looks over at the waitress, sort of puts his hand on her shoulder, looks her in the eye, and just says, "Meat." And that's it.
Okay, nothing to drink?
Meat.
All right, meat. And she jots a couple things down and starts walking over to the bar. Evan, are you still following? Or...
Oh yeah, and I was like, okay, so the way you do this is, and you just hear Evan just kind of continue on, and this is the layer here, and then you add this. Oh, and add those what y'all call the circles in a hole on a stick. Yeah, you can layer that on top of that with, you know, oh, shrimp would be neat in between those, and
she'll walk up to the bar and kind of walk around to the back side of the bar area. There's like a little opening, and one of the bartenders walks over. This particular one happens to be like a furbolg. He's got like, you know, long hair that's been like tied up into like a braid behind him, and wearing like an apron and just kind of like this like short sleeve shirt that's underneath, and sturdy britches or whatever, and he's got a couple spots on his apron from whatever mix that, got loose from him as he was going. And she'll hand him the sheet. She's like, 2 ales, a wine, and a bartender special. And she'll, walk away, going to another table.
Hi, I'm Evan. You're a furbolg, right?
Yeah, quite so. I am indeed a furbolg, and you seem to be... Are you the one the bartender special's for?
I guess I show him the drawing.
Oh, yes.
And
you must be. All right. She'll bring it over when it's ready. That might take quite some time.
No, that's fine.
All right.
I like to eat and drink at the same time, so awesome.
Golem, it wouldn't have taken you too long, so probably around this time you will be able to enter through the main door. Back at the table, we have Ladok and Darmond are kind of sitting there, and they start talking about their time through. And as they tell the story, it seems obvious they went through this thing together. Darmond is wearing fairly simplistic clothes, like a white shirt that's kind of the sleeves have been rolled up a little bit. He's got a leather vest on. The one thing that kind of stands out, he's wearing this harness thing on his hand. There's a bracelet with a chain that kind of loops between his 2 middle fingers, and then on the back of his hand there's a stone that is set in a silver setting that matches the silver of the chain and the bracelet that kind of holds it all into place. And they're kind of chatting and laughing and telling about how when they went through, their paladin had just rushed in and tried to fight the armor and was just kind of knocked about for a while until they could activate the gate and they could all run out, and kind of laughing and joking about how that all went down. And you guys, anything, tell me, Darman says. He's like, how long did it take to figure out the floating, the getting across the gap?
We figured out the floating pretty quick. It's just we didn't figure out how to get across once we were floating.
Oh yeah, that was tough. So did you
It
guys?
was highly amusing.
Oh, I wish that. See, I keep asking the dean if we could only put a view, a scrying in there, so we could all watch. That would be the best entertainment ever. Watching people figure that all out.
That would definitely be quite amusing.
So, how did you end up getting across? Did you touch it enough so you could walk across the ceiling?
No. And now you mention it. That would have been much easier than us now. No, we used a rope to get across. We dragged ourselves across after being partially thrown by by my friend here.
Oh, throwing. We should have tried that. Our paladin was quite strong, but then, we kind of got lucky. Ladok there leaned against the pillars, and then tried to pull himself down and kept rising up until finally he was touching the roof.
Yeah, that seems much more smart than our solution.
It wasn't like I meant to. It was kind of all by accident, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, he says as he swirls his, it's kind of like this ambery hued clearish wine and sips on it out of his goblet and sets it down. Well, I'm glad you guys made it through. It's always fun. It's the first real trial that any of our mages go through. Let's wait till the end of the month.
Mostly unharmed.
Well, yes.
We had a bit of trouble with a spider. didn't we? And I just sort of glance over at Wolfrax.
But yeah, Wolverax is just highly embarrassed about this whole situation, and just sort of puts his hand on his face, just not really wanting to make eye contact with anybody at this point.
Just put my hand over, like, he doesn't want to talk about it.
And is the Warforged there? Is he with you? As Golem kind of walks up.
Yeah, he's with us.
I'm with them for some reason. For now.
It's kind of how things go. They kind of group you, and Ladok kind of goes in. Kind of group you into small groups, and somehow this weird, disparate group of people form some sort of strange alliance that eventually can lead to quite good friends that you would have never expected.
We'll see.
You never know. Shortly after, the waitress comes back, and she's got a tray. So she's got 2 ales and a wine on there. She's got... I'm not loud enough?
You're loud.
Oh, I'm too loud.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me push this further away. Tell me how I'm doing if things get too loud. I need to go down? Okay, well. It's tough in this situation. Let's see. And of course my yard worker is right outside, so this might be fun. So she will set down the drinks, and she sets down the 2 ales, the wine. She goes over to Wolverax with like a plate of various meats. It's like an array of them, mostly like thinly cut, kind of so like they're almost like sandwich meat cut on it. And then she'll put in front of Evan this like tall drink that's kind of colorful. There seems to be multiple colors, and then there's like the donuts and shrimp and all sorts of weird things on there.
I am most pleased. Thank you. That is exactly what I wanted. And I start eating and drinking it at the same time.
So as you go to eat the things, as you go to grab it, your hands go right through them, and they're quite obviously illusory items. The drink is there, but the food appears to be more illusory than not.
Not what I ordered. I'm gonna have to remedy this. So I get up, grab my drink, and head back over to the bar.
Assuming this tankard is quite big in comparison to my body size here. So I'm going to grab it with both hands and just like take a big old sip.
Yeah, it's a decent ale. It is chilled, and which is kind of a... Not every tavern as you've been in has been able to manage chilled ale, but obviously here they have special means to do such things. And yeah, it's one of the better ones you've probably tasted in a while. All right. Over at the bar, Evan.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I take my hand and wave it through the food. I can't eat any of this.
What a shame. We have a menu if you would like to order something. And I'll push it over at you.
Okay, so I want this, and I order everything that's on thing.
So it seems to be like a lunch style menu. So there are like, on the menu, there's like charcuterie, and there are like sandwiches and cheeses and just breads. Fairly simple, easy things. There's some stews on there. There doesn't seem to be shrimp or donuts or anything like that at the moment.
I look at him in disgust. I'm not pleased with this at all. Fine.
Then you might not want to order your next drink.
Very well then. All right. Okay. I just take my drink and go back to the table.
Tell what I do for a living. And the drink that you do have, though, tastes rather good. It's a little on the sweeter side, obviously, like some juices and such. But the strength of it seems fine. The composition of it seems fine. You just got illusory food instead of crazy.
I try to brush it off.
As he sees you kind of trying to wave it off as you walk back, he'll kind of like snap his fingers and it'll slowly dissipate into like a bunch of sparkles and disappear.
I'm going to have to create my own place. It's final. It's what it has to be.
Gollum just looks at you and goes, "What? Just drink your drink, you foolish human." And as I say that, you'd notice me grip the tankard slightly different. And I'm going to look at it and say, I need a drink now. And it's just going to refill itself because it's a tankard of plenty.
Nice. Yeah, anything in particular you guys are looking to ask or talk about at the correct moment, or things about the tavern itself that you were looking to explore or ask your companions?
So, I'm thinking library. They will have the most information on what I want to achieve and what my theories to prove correctly on, or at least get the workings out of my brain onto paper.
Ladok will kind of lean over a little bit. And what is it that you are looking to achieve?
So, I had this really, really awesome idea of some kind of teleportation device, where basically it's like a teleport circle, but it's not a teleport circle, but it's more like a floating disc that you could stand on and poof, you're gone to another place. But it's a theory, so I don't know. Because Wolverax tried to get the magical items, but couldn't because of the door kept shutting. So what if you had something that you could levitate and grab and pop over real quick, but you could still see?
I mean, we did have someone attempt to Misty Step out with one item, and it seemed like a feasible idea. However, when they got to the other side, there was no item in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fascinating. Huh.
The particular...
Well, I had to use... Go ahead.
Yes.
No. Oh, well, I had to use my Misty Step because I got stuck in the middle of the giant chasm of doom.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like hanging out in the void.
Don't blame you, yes.
Oh, Wolverax threw me. It was
the
awesome.
bit I enjoyed the most.
Can't say I think I'd blame you.
He could have just waited till I got the rope ready.
The
Wouldn't
fun
have
in
been
that.
anywhere near as fun.
Oh, no, you still throw him. I'm just saying so he didn't be stupid and teleport.
Did I start up?
Fair enough. No, I was going to shoot him with the crossbow bolt, though, while he was floating. Attach the rope to him.
Rope.
Again, I wish I could have seen that, Darman says, taking his 2 hands on his goblet, taking a few big chugs.
Oh, and that's another thing. Food with drinks has to happen.
Oh, I mean, there are places you can get it. It's just, yeah, I don't, yeah, there's certain nights they'll do it here, but yours is pretty weird, and I don't blame them for messing with you on that one.
So, which brings me another theory that Golem seems to be drinking from his mug. So, what if we could do that with food? Like, I could be drinking my drink, and also not think of circles on a stick, and poof! Suddenly, they grow out of the drink, and there it is, and then I can eat and drink at the same time.
Ladok will look over at you. You have very frivolous ideas about magic, don't you?
Well, where I come from, it's either, you got to cast immediately or get turned into something undead. So, I always had these bright ideas, but nope, it was either, take your hands out of the dirty, hedonistic magic and pick up a sword and kill somebody quickly or die.
Well, I suppose I can understand that.
Why I'm here.
All right. Yes. It's quite nice. You know what? Maybe we should find a change of scenery. Let's all get another drink, and let's find a new spot.
I was told I wasn't supposed to.
Oh. Yes.
I'll get the drinks and I head over to the bar.
Okay.
I just shake my head and say,
I'm going to get another round of what everyone already had, and I'm also going to ask the bartender for another bartender special for Evan. Tell him that. I'm going to tell Evan that I was able to get one for him.
All right. Yeah. So he will kind of throw together. Easily first, he goes and pours the ales. He goes to these. There's 5 big casks that are behind him on his side of the bar there. Seems to be another bartender on the other side that's attending some of the patrons on that side. So he goes to one of the casks and pours a couple big pints and sets them on a tray and pours some wine, sets it on a tray, and then he goes and pulls out a few bottles and starts mixing them together and pauses for a moment. Yes. And grabs another bottle and shakes it in there, and then stirs it all together, puts his hands around it, and you can see like frost kind of form on the outside of the cup, and he'll set it on the tray. There you go, little one. On the tab that's already been running, or is this separate?
Perfect. Straight on the tab.
Sounds good.
Without saying anything else, I just turn around and walk away before he has a chance to work out it's not my tab.
Yeah. He doesn't really care as long as he's got somewhere to kind of put it along. So he turns back and he jots down on a notepad a little bit and lets you go about your way.
And I'll run it over to the table and dish out the drinks.
Oh, perfect, Ladok will say. Now, let's go upstairs. And he will kind of start leading the way around and lead you to, as it loads up the new map. Alright, we'll lead you up the stairs into this kind of posh sort of area here, and you'll see it is a little bit quieter, although like still some of the noise rises up from below. But here you see it tends to be more like the finer dressed individuals here. You can tell that some of the patrons in this general area are teachers rather than students, and they're all kind of chatting amongst each other, and it seems to be a little bit quieter in this general region. You do see 2 gates, 2 teleportation sort of gates like the ones you had walked through previously. Slightly different design to them, but still giving off this faint blue glow as portals stand open. Ladok will lead you towards the nearest one, and there is an orc standing next to it, and he'll nod his head over at Lidok as he leads up and says, we're looking for a quieter place. I've always been quite partial to the cliffs. And he'll look over at Dormand, and Dormand's like, yeah, the cliffs work just fine. Let's go to the cliffs. And the orc will, like, turn towards the gate and reach his hand out, and you don't, like, necessarily see anything, but you can tell he's kind of, like, focusing. And the blue portal will shimmer a little bit, and then Lidok will step on through, disappearing, and then Dormand will do the same behind.
That's awesome. And Evan will just go follow.
I'll follow him through as well.
I'll follow.
Yeah, follow dead last.
So yeah, you step through and you find yourself hit immediately with this kind of like soft breeze that carries with it like a bit of the salt air. Drifting in the wind, you hear the sounds of like distant gulls kind of at some place off in the distance, just like a soft, not quite as annoying as they often are, sound in the background. And it's kind of like there's a low grass that leads up to like a cliff face, and Lidok will kind of just like walk over and sit down at the edge of the cliff, like with his legs dangling over. And you can see out in the distance there's an ocean horizon to it, but it disappears probably, a few hundred feet out into the ocean. It almost like it drops off, but it's hard to tell, from the few hundred feet. But it is like a bright, sunny day, comfortable temperature. This is much better. Can I sit back and look over to you guys? So, tell us, what brings you all here?
Wow. The ocean's really blue here.
Yes, well, it helps when it's not real. It's kind of like the test you guys were in. The school likes to utilize these little pockets of extra-dimensional space for various things, and though perhaps very frivolous for the amount of magic it took to create, it's been around for a while. Some teacher must have really liked the oceans, and this was created as a place for people to go and enjoy themselves.
So we're in a different dimension.
Yes, I suppose. That's probably about right.
Absolutely fascinating.
The bonus is that each dimension kind of creates a new one if someone else wants to come, unless they are explicitly with the group traveling in. Therefore, we can be here, and others could be here, but not all be here at the same time. Sort of a privacy.
Well, that's not confusing at all.
No. Welcome to the school. It is nice if you want to talk and not have to deal with unwanted ears. Though it is the school, so there could still be unwanted ears.
I just reach into my bag and pull out this weird blue crystal, because I'm going to be working on making my goggles of night while we're talking.
And so, what brings you all here? What brought your patronage? What goal do they deem necessary or worthy enough to give you a trip here to the school?
Evan's finally drinking the second drink.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, that's a good one. 0.
It could be worse.
It could be negative. I did roll 11 though.
Okay. Your tongue starts to get hot, and your lips start to get a little numb as the heat in the drink that was placed in there kind of builds. And the more you drink of it, the more it seems to like numb your lips, and your tongue gets a little fiery.
Woo! Mm-hmm. I'll take another sip.
Yeah. The more you drink, the more it kind of builds, but it doesn't, like, it's not going to hurt you necessarily. It's just, it's like drinking a very spicy drink to the point where your lips and everything start to numb out. It's kind of a weird contrast with how sweet the drink originally was, and it didn't feel like a spice, but your tongue and lips are reacting to, like, it's starting to get hotter and hotter as you drink.
Yeah, someone else go first. Whew.
I'm gonna walk over to the edge of the cliff, look down as it. What sort of height are we talking here?
You're probably about 100 feet up.
Oof. Okay. Get a bit dizzy, like step back a little bit and like plonk down a bit away from the edge.
Not a fan of heights? Dorman glance over.
Yeah, usually quite close to the ground, so being up this high is a little bit disconcerting.
Fair enough. Wait till your wizard casts fly on you or something, and you find yourself hundreds of feet in the air.
I think I'll pass on that.
It's a bit disconcerting at first, but it could be fun. Dorman will look over at Cornelia. So, well, I guess we can start. I came a few years ago. Cornelia, it's her first year. My cousin and our grandfather was a member here, was a student here, and he arranged for our patronage. We're fairly lucky in the fact that we have money and power due to his station that allows us to be here, which I guess many find is a fault of this place, that you must have either do something or gain a favor from someone and get yourself a position here. Or you can be like Heeroic here and just be filthy rich.
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite know the ins and outs of exactly how I ended up, but all I know is I found this strange rock, and then all of a sudden I have patronage here. And I've gained powers which I never had before, so... And I sort of fondle the rock in my pocket.
As you kind of feel at it, you feel like this warmth and like this almost like a pulsating like emanation from the stone.
I don't reveal the stone.
Yeah.
I leave it at that.
No problem. But you definitely see Leela kind of looking over at you, thinking as he kind of strokes his like kind of thin, pointy chin. Well, I suppose I can go. My family has a series of sand liners that cross the Perak deserts. Quite a bit of money. We're able to purchase patronage from one of the many wizards that have taken the Dark Sands as their home. Which was more interesting, like some stone or whatever, but I came here and was able to get my own patronage of sorts. It'd be quite fun.
So at that comment, sort of Volverax kind of just makes a little glance, just a little, a slightly aggressive glance, we'll say, And just to sort of say, watch what you say about the people around me. So Wolfrex is very reluctant to speak. He reaches for his dagger, the one with the jewel attached to it, and he sort of grips it, tightly, not in an aggressive way, but just sort of maybe in a sort of defensive kind of I feel uncomfortable kind of way. And he says, I did something, and my clan wanted me gone. They paid me to be here so that I wasn't there.
Dorman will look over at you. Well, someone must have cared enough, at least, to allow you such an opportunity. Many would have killed for such a chance.
And at that, his hand sort of starts to shake just a little bit, just almost imperceivably, but just sort of, he's very uncomfortable by this line of conversation.
Oh, this time I'm finishing up the 2 blue lenses and I place them against my eyes. And then I say, I was granted sponsorship by my mentor in forging, Thargrick Brightforge. He's a dwarven smith. He taught me how to, smith.
Virak will look over at you. Well, that's interesting. I mean, we don't get many warforges, but perhaps it's because innate abilities, like those with sorceress powers, don't tend to form, and many don't take to the wizardess arts. But I can see a forger, a school of artifice, I suppose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. And this dwarf of yours must have some love for you, or some greater plan for you, I suppose, if he sought your education here.
Don't know.
And Mr. Numtongue over there?
Yeah. Whew. Wow, that's invigorating. May have to try something different next time. Whoo!
Dorman
No, I come from Eva.
Will kind of look over at you and say, chill out. And you feel this like healing sensation go through you, and the numbness and the tingling will kind of subside.
I blow out a cool breath of.
Yeah.
Woo! That's like a mint. Tasty.
Simple
you.
words of healing. That's all.
Awesome. Yeah, I come from Miva.
Kind of gathered based on your talk of undead and such. That tends to be fairly prevalent there.
That's where I found Golem at.
Really?
Yeah. Me and my grandfather was going through an old city known as Krantz, and I've been there several times before. It was said that I was actually born there, but I don't know about that. But yeah, so found Golem, got him back, repaired him, talked with my grandparents about this, that, and the other, and here we are. With help from my sponsor, which is an old friend of my family's, as well as, Golem's mentor is old friend of my family's too. Or Golem's sponsor is a friend of my family's too. I get names confused a lot too, so sorry.
It's okay. There tends to be a lot of them tossed around. Virak will kind of say. So your family must have some influence. They definitely have friends.
Oh, yeah. Well, my grandmother was a politician for, I don't know how long she was. She's pretty old. So, and she's retired. My grandfather was a paladin. He kind of still is. But screw magic, unless if it's healing and whatnot. Blah 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 blah. Put that book down, son. Pick up a sword, kind of crap.
He must be also very happy about you getting.
Yeah, that's also why.
Wizard.
Yeah, that's why I'm here too. So couldn't do anything with me.
And you guys given thought to your item?
Item?
Oh, they haven't explained. Dorman, they haven't explained. Dorman will look up and glance over at Cornelia. And she'll go, oh, yes, well, yes, after the first month, we'll all be granted an item, or we can choose an item we have, or be granted an item that we'd like. And that will be kind of bound to us. It will be a sort of a special focus or item that will be our sort of signature item. You may see, if you look, many of the teachers have them as well. Something that are now imbued with great power, but supposedly it's an item of power that grows in power as you do.
So we could wish for airship, right?
It doesn't quite work like that. A personal item that you use and hold and wield.
So more like
or
circles on a stick.
Like a piece of armor or weapon or staff.
That item. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm. Could be something you already own if, let's say you really like your dagger or some sort of shield or piece of armor you wear.
Suddenly blurt out, what about a rock? And then regret saying it straight away.
A rock. I mean, I suppose. Dorman has his little stone he uses. My brain is spaced. I wrote this down. And he'll speak up. It is a divine siphon. But yes. It has been.
I'm going to slowly pull the purple sort of stone out of my pocket and just hold it.
Heeroic will look over. Ah, it was a stone. You weren't just happy to see us. So you'll see though that it is like pulsing a little bit. Like it gives off this faint purple light and almost like in this kind of weird pulse at the moment.
I'm going to quickly shove it back into my pocket.
I mean, if you want the stone imbued with power, you can do that. I've always been skeptical of imbuing with further power something unless I knew the full extent of it.
I imbue my whetstone?
I suppose, if you want. Many people choose a weapon of some sort, as that is something that, in the heat of a battle, is something you may have use of anyways. Or, our paladin chose his armor. I have a wand, a staff that I guess it's a rod, we call it, that I use as mine. He's got his stone. Many wizards choose staves because it looks cool, I guess. Wizard kind of ancient tradition of holding a big staff. But
so what does it do exactly?
So it is a item magical power that will enhance your abilities, grant you abilities, or various uses. It can be used to deal more damage if you're hitting somebody with it, like our paladin might if with a blade or such. It could be used as a focus of your powers. It can increase those powers. Some grant special abilities like flight or teleportation sort of things. But as you gain your ability, you're able to focus more into it and alter its existence to suit your needs. At the end of the month, probably, I think is when they do it. They'll grant you this item, so just have it in your mind.
Will do.
For many of us, they don't always tell us a lot of things ahead of time, so it's kind of a weird apprenticeship where you're discovering things unless you meet someone who's gone through it.
Understandable.
And how's the rest of the stay here? Anything you guys have looked to do or desire to do that you have not yet here in Umberhaven or in the school itself? Yeah.
Okay. So, school itself, I want to go to the library.
Oh, yes, the library. Let's see. It should be probably very
Umberhaven,
similar.
on the other hand, there's like 1,000 things I want to do in Umberhaven. Oh my god.
This is quite a busy place. It is very nice, though, yes. Usually they start letting students, within the next week or so, depending on the class, exit into the city at wide.
I look over at Golem with bright eyes and excitement.
I just shake my head at him. I want to go back to the city.
Hey,
And
girl,
It'll be fun.
you think you can make a leash for Evan? We need some reins, I think, if it's going to be let loose in the city.
We could get one of those carriages. The wind-up ones, not the ones pulled by animals.
Yeah, I've been looking for a chicken.
For chicken?
Chicken.
Well, a baby chicken.
You will definitely have to explain that one. Heeroic looks over at you, kind of surprised.
I need a piece of down feathers. And I haven't found a baby chicken yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, right across the way, you can pick one up. There's items. You can easily get pretty much any spell component you need.
To spell component, anything.
Sorry, between trying to pull something up and trying not to have the damn air blower from the lawn workers behind me.
Yeah, they really need to fix their spell. You know, sounds like they're like, I don't know, mowing grass or something.
Yes.
I just point across the way and there's a person mowing grass right there.
Wow, how odd.
Yeah, that's the one downside of this. Apparently, whoever created it liked the sound of lawnmowers.
A strange individual.
Yes. But if you head over towards the admin building, they have a section where you can purchase spell components. Certain ones, like probably the down of a small baby chicken, would be probably granted to you if you requested it. More expensive ones, like a golden chalice of some sort, you'd have to pay for, but most basic ones you can either get there or gather around. Many of the classes you'll probably go through for gathering components in the wild will teach you how, and then they take those components that are gathered and disperse it to the students. So, welcome to the school. Much luck to you. Heeroic will kind of stand back up. I'm going to go about. I have some appointments I need to keep. So do enjoy. You can stay here as long as you want when you leave. Of course, this instance will be done, but you can go back out to get drinks and come back in as long as one of you are still in here. Restarted the stream. I don't know what's going on with my internet. Between lawnmowers and internet, it's been a great great morning. But I think we're going to take about a 10-minute break or so. Anyways, because this is kind of where I was expecting to kind of leave the party to discuss or figure out what they'd like to do, get anything done that they'd want to do. I think when we come back, though, we'll maybe chat really quick about maybe what everyone decided to do for their second level, because I know everyone got something. And then we'll kind of go through a little bit of that and wrap it up, and not too much longer. So please hang in there for us. So before the break, you guys were left alone in this kind of pocket of extra-dimensional space. Beautiful kind of cliffside overlooking the ocean that is probably a little bit too blue, but is like an idyllic sort of setting. There is a portal kind of behind you guys, and Cornelia and Dormand and Telok. Is it Telok? Yeah. The tiefling. Ledok. Step through and leave you guys to your own devices there in this this pocket of extra-dimensional space. What are you guys up to? You finally find yourself in kind of a quiet setting where it's just the four of you.
I'm gonna go look down the edge of the cliff, see what's down there.
Okay.
From
Gonna push him.
from a pocket, randomly, Evan pulls out a pork rind and begins eating it.
Wait. I like how you use the props in your role playing, Dave. That's so Golem goes to the edge of the cliff, and you look down. There is a small strip of sand at the base of the cliff, and there's a little bit of like rubbled rocks or whatever down there at the base. The cliff itself is kind of jagged. It's a kind of a light, a very pale, like tan color of sand, and the stone face of this cliff seems to be made up of the same structure. The waves are small that you can see from your height. I mean, you're up, but they don't seem to get very big, and they just kind of like slowly lap up onto the ocean fairly rhythmically, fairly even paced, and they lap up at the edge of the beach here, and you can kind of see as it recedes that area of sand that's a little bit wetter due to the water having washed up there, but rushes back out.
Do I see any caves?
You do not see any caves. It seems to be very flat and even, at least as far as you can tell.
So, Wolfrax looks down at the ground that he's presently sat on, and runs his hands through the grass, and he's trying to figure out if it is real or not. What does he feel?
So the grass feels very real. Everything you touch, it has that like tactile sensation. You even have the sense of like the smell of grass in the air. Like as you disturb it, it seems to have a little bit more of a scent.
So there's no clues that it would give to. There's no clues that to suggest that it's an illusion. It's not fully real. For all intents and purposes, this is a real place.
Yeah, I mean, if you, I guess you could make like an Arcana check or some sort of check.
I'll do an Arcana check. Oh well, or nature, both the same. Yeah, I'll do an Arcana check.
Okay.
19. No, that's
nice.
21. 21.
Wow. Yeah, with that roll, you somehow have, perhaps in the last couple of weeks of you studying here, you've come to know a little bit more about how these things work, And it seems to be that, like, it was created and it was formed into this, like, extra dimensional space, but once you're here, it follows a set of rules that were given to the space itself. And so this particular space was designed to be just like, you know, a cliffside and everything. Like, the grass grows. Now, granted, looking at it and everything, it seems very even and almost perfect, as if, like, there's no brown spotches where the grass didn't get enough water. There's no areas where the cliff itself seems to be actively crumbling. The only real hint that really gives it to you is that in the distance, as you look out a few hundred feet in every direction from this portal, it seems to, like, the horizon seems to happen all of a sudden. Like, there seems to be a slow, gradual grade, like a normal horizon would work at, like, the 300 feet or so, but just past it seems like it almost just disappears. Like,
I see. Thank you. So what Wolverax is admiring the craftsmanship of this realm. It reminds him of home.
Yeah, it's a very nice, kind of perfect setting, and yeah, it would probably definitely seem like it could very well have been like a cliff from the area out near where you live, or where your clan had kind of called their home. So perhaps the person who created it had also traveled to such a location.
I think as Evan continues to eat pork rinds from one of his pockets, pouches, whatever, he thinks to himself that it's quiet, it's peaceful. There's not death, destruction. Holier than art thou languages being screamed at him. And he gets this idea. He begins pulling out charcoal, some incense, various herbs, and a brass brazier, and begins to ritually cast the spell.
Very nice.
And that spell is Find Familiar.
Very cool. And while he's setting this up, which will take a while for him to fully cast, what is everyone else up to?
Oh, he's while he's distracted with that, I'm gonna try and pinch a pork rind from his pocket.
All right, slide a hand check. What's your passive
17.
perception, Evan? Not
Passive
17.
perception, probably definitely not that.
Yeah, so yeah, right.
No, 11.
Oh, yeah.
So here, you get a big one.
Yeah, you definitely are able to kind of like pinch it out without him noticing.
Totally oblivious.
While they're busy doing ritual casting with the spell, I'm gonna walk over to Wolverax and say, "Want to play a prank on Evan?"
Wolverax goes over to, well, he looks over to Golem and says, "Absolutely."
Perfect. Okay. I can make it so I don't take fire damage from sticking my hand in fire. You want to make a bonfire? And
Absolutely.
we'll tell him to stick his hand in?
So yeah, sure. Wolverax will create a bonfire. Anywhere in particular? Go on.
Somewhere not right under me, preferably.
Okay, so he picks a spot, maybe a couple of meters away, and casts Create Bonfire.
I'm going to shout over to Evan and say, "Hey, Evan, can you put your hand in the fire and not take damage?" As I do that, you notice that my hand starts to become a bright steel color. And I'm just going to stick my one hand into the fire and try and grab out one of the sticks that's on fire.
Okay.
Just to see see what happens.
Yeah, you're able to reach in and grab hold of one of the sticks from the bonfire. Granted, they're like magically there, but they are there for as long as Wolverax decides to concentrate on it. Really, I mean, it says a minute, but I figure if he's actively concentrating on it, as long as he really wants to, because I think it's silly to have to recast it every minute,
Right.
unless you're in the heat of combat or something. We'll worry about that.
I think for once, you actually notice Evan is totally absorbed in what he's doing.
Yeah, when you're done.
But after taking the pork rind, I look over and go, "Oh, cool! Fire doesn't hurt us in this sort of pocket dimension." I start walking over to the fire.
And what do you do with the fire?
I'm just reaching towards it.
Okay.
And now I'm gonna reach into the fire.
All right. Give a dexterity saving throw.
That's a 10.
So Wolverax, how much damage does he take?
Oh my
1d6?
goodness me! It's a 1d8.
Oh,
It's 2 damage.
2 points of damage.
Like suddenly pull my hand back. Just completely confused at why it hurt me but it didn't hurt you.
And when you notice that my hand is shinier than it normally is.
And then it clicks. Yeah.
I'll whisper to you. The big forge master taught me, oh, I can reach my hand into fire to grab hot metal now.
So Wolverax is very, very impressed with this trick. This might come in handy given his proclivities.
You got one of the party members. Oops.
Just maybe not the one you were aiming for.
So yeah, Wolverax stopped casting.
All right. Over your time.
Still satisfied with the result.
I'll look to Lilin and say, do you need to be healed, Rylan?
I don't know, is this a trick?
No, I can heal. As Wolverax, I healed her after a giant spider bit her. Or bit him, sorry.
True. I'll take healing if you can offer it.
Yeah. So I'll say, stand still, this might sting. As I pull out my cauterizing iron and burn yourself.
So you're gonna heal the burn with a burn. No stress.
Yep, and he healed for 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you feel perfect. I mean, there's that moment of searing pain as he presses it to it, but then the magic rushes through, and it now feels cool, and then slowly gets back to normal. Your hand flexes a little bit, and it's perfect, good as new. I think it takes.
In the commotion, I also lost the pork rind in the fire.
That smelled.
Well, I grab that. I can still.
So the pork rind still remains. It's just very singed on the ground, just very smoking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Smells like barbecue.
Okay.
So as you guys kind of enjoy yourselves and bond there, Evan finally finishes his casting, and what appears as you finish your incantations?
I guess off over the hill, you see a animal pop up and run to Evan, and what you see is almost in the same lines of that whole predicament as far as fire, charcoal, whatnot. It's kind of a charcoal colored fox. Of course, it didn't do it right.
Oh, yeah. At the base of his mini there. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on, give me a second. So, yeah, a charcoal colored fox appears and runs to Evan.
All right. Yeah, so this dark-colored fox kind of nuzzles up against you and looks up at you. Evan kind of gives a little yip.
I will call you Serenity.
It kind of yips and shags its tail a little bit, like wags its tail a little bit, apparently enjoying the name.
So what's up, guys?
I mean, I've burnt my hand, so are we?
How'd
We
you do
decided
that?
what we're gonna. Long story.
Here,
Just sort of shrugging off, in embarrassment the fact that I put my hand into a magical fire.
I reach in another pocket and pull out another pork rind and hand it to Rylan. Here, eat this. This usually helps.
Yeah, I bet it does. I take the pork rind.
This one's seasoned with some kind of cinnamon thing going on.
It's got like loads of flavors from all the random bits of food that's like in your pockets.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah. It's questionable as to the flavoring of that pork rind at this point, but you know.
So I was thinking about heading to the library. How about y'all?
I could very much enjoy a trip to the library.
Yeah, I'd
Awesome.
like to see if I can find out more about this stone.
Awesome. Golem, back to the forge, or you want to come along?
I'll probably go to the forge after I pick up a chicken.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were going to go get ingredients.
I mean, we could all head and go and get ingredients and then head over to the library.
That we could do that. That would be awesome. I could always use ingredients. I actually need some more stuff after casting that last spell. So, okay. So how do we get out of here?
Probably through that glowing thing behind us.
Oh yeah. See, if we had a floating disc that could teleport you anywhere, that would be awesome.
I'm just going to sigh and walk through the pool.
You find yourself back in the school, or the Arcane Gate, on the second floor. It seems to have gotten a little bit busier. Seems to be more students down below, especially. There's a few more teachers that have joined some of the parties at the tables there on the second floor. You guys all exit out of the portal and head back into the Arcane Gate. And what would you guys like to do?
They said it was near administration, right, for the ingredients?
Yeah, so part of the admin building, you probably would have seen it before. They have like a little shop where you can buy various things that you need, you know, school T-shirts and that. No, you can get. It's got like a whole bunch of ingredients laid out, and some of it's like all the simple stuff that really doesn't cost anything. That like some of the classes that you guys probably have even started to take and such, they'll have you guys go out and kind of scavenge amongst the grounds themselves, gathering various simple things like spider webs and, you know, bits of feathers or whatever little bits that you guys might need. They may go to the forge and get bits of charcoal from, you know, the kilns when they've been emptied out and such, and they're just kind of out there arrayed. And then there's a countertop, and behind there's like this purple-haired gnome lady who's sitting there, like on a stool, so she's kind of up at like countertop level, and then there's like a glass kind of counter thing with various, like, you see like a gold plate and a chalice that's in there, and there's like gems behind there, various sized diamonds, some like rubies, and just various things that are used in more expensive spells. And behind her, she's got things like hanging on the wall. There's like incense hanging there, and there's spell books that are kind of like arrayed like in a line. There's extra paper and ink and such that might be used for various wizards. And she'll look up as she hears like a chime go off as the door swings open. But there's not like a bell or anything. It's like when the door goes open, there's this little like ding 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 sound that goes across the store. She looks up and she's like currently had like some gems and a chalice in her hand, and she was like kind of like intricately like arranging these gems upon the chalice, and she'll kind of like take it and set it down like in a separate part underneath the desk and look over. Welcome, students. What can I get for you?
You're a gnome, right?
Yes, I am. What can I get for you?
Oh, lots of stuff.
Oh boy.
But my friend wants stuff first before I go.
Okay, then you, Mr. Warforged.
I need the down feather of a chicken.
Oh, easy enough. Luckily, we have a roost on campus that we're able to pull from. So, let's see. The third set of shelves over there, to your right, about halfway down, there's a box that's got a bunch of down feathers in there. Specifically from a chicken?
I don't know. I wasn't taught.
I mean, if you want specifically from the chicken, the lighter yellow ones in there.
Lighter yellow, okay. All it says is a small. All my notes say is a small feather or a piece of down.
Oh yes, well, any of those are down. Some are from owls, some are from chickens, some are from pigeons. You know.
I find a black one. If there's black, wait, is there black down or is down always lighter colored?
I'm not
I'm not 100%
huge bird person, but I would think that there would be, the darker from like crows and stuff, because I think even baby crows have like a darker hair feather that grows. So we're gonna say sure. This is a fantasy world. There's a black down feather that you can find.
I find a black down feather and put it on top of my head.
On top of your head?
Yeah, into my hat.
Okay. Sounds good. Anyone else looking for anything?
I give her a notebook's worth of ingredients. Well, not a notebook's worth of ingredients, but a list of ingredients that I need.
Okay. Kind of go over them. Any of them actually cost money, or?
No, well,
stuff for
yeah. Well, I mean, 10 gold pieces worth of charcoal.
Incense
and
such.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so she will gather up
charcoal, incense, and herbs.
Gather up the various items that you would need to recast Find Familiar. Anything else for you?
Not right offhand.
Okay then.
Well, maybe, yeah. I all the spells that I did cast that might have had material components, I go ahead and give her that list too. So,
all right.
Which I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't think any of them had monetary cost yet.
Okay.
If
they do, I'll subtract it from my
we'll figure it out.
Money.
She'll charge you 8 gold coins for the gathering of it, of the items that you had, and that can be adjusted if we decide to.
Yeah.
And anything else for anyone else?
Nothing for me.
Okay.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Well, if ever you decide you need anything, you know where to find us. And she'll reach back down and grab her chalice and start going back to work on placing the gems and arranging things in places.
Yeah, I put all the ingredients in various pockets and pouches and whatnot, and look at her and says, "I'll be back often. My name's Evan, by the way." And I hold out my hand.
Victoria.
Pleased to meet you. And I walk out the shop. Or the... whatever this is.
I follow him out the door.
Yeah. As does Wolver X.
All right.
What is this place officially called? Alchemil. Is it? You don't have a map of the school up, so that's.
I don't have a map of the school up. It is in the admin building, and it just says like wizarding supplies over.
Oh, okay.
Over the
Gotcha.
door. It's like an adjunction to the admin building itself. But this one has like an external entrance for students to come in through that little courtyard, right across the way from the Arcane Gate. Near the cafe, like there's the admin building that kind of loops around. There's like the cafeteria, and then kind of on its own separate space is the Arcane Gate, which you guys just came from.
Cool. Okay. So
We got everything we need.
I think so. I mean, I'll be back, of course. I mean, endless cycle, but
Okay,
that's cool.
let me rephrase. Have we got everything we need for now?
Yes, for sure.
Put a feather in my hat and go, yep.
I guess we can
Oh.
head over to the library then.
Awesome. And I actually
Enough.
start skipping to the library and start singing, to the library we go, to the library we go, hi ho the Mario, to the library we go.
So Wolverex very perturbed about this noise coming from this very small creature, and he just grabs his shoulders and presses him down, and just squeezes just a little bit, and just says, "Shut up."
Okay. Fine, Mr. Goofy Pants.
There.
To the library we go. And I run off.
All right. So you guys make your way over, which kind of crosses right by the arena again that you kind of started your day off as, and now you kind of make your way over to the library. It's like the large structure, and above the door that seems to be like a sculpture of like a book, sort of thing, like an open book right above the door. And as you kind of lead up, you notice that at the moment the doors are kind of open, and they're like propped open. And inside there stands a kind of tall, skinny male elf in kind of like a, wizardly sort of robes, like long flowing robes. But on his shoulder is the similar symbol that's above the door, which is like the open book with like the pages open and everything. And he is like kind of sitting at a stool near the opening with the book in his hands, and he's got a pen or like a quill on one side, and there's like a stand next to him where there's like an ink pot, and he's kind of making a few notes here and there. And as you guys approach, he will look up.
Hi,
Well, hello.
name's Evan.
Hello, Evan. I'm Volas.
Volas.
Volas. Vulas. Volas. He doesn't spell it for you, I do.
Are you the head librarian? Are you the head librarian here?
I'm the librarian on duty at the moment. I'm not the head.
Oh, cool. We'll be getting to know each other a lot. I have a feeling.
Excellent. A enthusiastic learner. We like that here.
Awesome. I need to research a whole bunch of stuff on a whole bunch of subjects that I have in my head.
He
And
really
that's what's in my
grows
head.
on you.
Does he? All right. Like a fungus or like a beautiful flower?
Like cancer.
Somewhere in between.
Fair enough. Colorful fungus. What can I do for you, colorful fungus?
Name's Evan. Hi. I'm
Hi.
gonna hold out my hand.
He'll set down his book, and then take your hand. Kind of. Hello, Evan. What can we do?
I need to do a lot of research on possible spells, possible future spells, and possible spells that could come.
Well, we only have about 400,000 tomes here in this book, this library. Is there something in particular we can narrow that down?
Floating disc
Floating discs.
that could possibly be used as a teleportation device, which is the future idea that I had. But yes, we'll start off with floating disc first.
Floating disc, I can do that. Should not be too hard. The teleportation thing. So you
I'll have
like
to show you.
information on a floating disc. I can do that. Anyone else have anything?
I step forward and I say, I'd like to find out more information about this stone, and I just pull the stone out and just hold it up.
May I?
Yes.
just
And it's hesitantly past the stone.
We'll hold on to it and look at it. Oh, okay. Is this something acquired here at the school, or you brought this from off grounds?
Brought this from off grounds.
Oh, boy. All right. Yes. I'll kind of
Put it straight back in my pocket.
hand it back, and it seems like he shakes his hand a little bit, like he's happy to be rid of it. And anyone else?
So Wolverax, sorry, was that you? Somebody else speaking there?
I said, do you have
No?
books on forging?
Forging, yes. Quite a few tomes. Any particular items you'd like to forge or learn about, or techniques?
The shield.
Shield. Oh, yes. Forging shields. Okay. Yes. And, our wonderful dragon-born friend here.
So I think Wolverax would sort of move to one side and sort of slightly, gently gesture towards the dagger of his.
He'll point at you, and in your head you'll hear, so you don't want to say, that is fine. You can speak in your head if you'd like to meet now, and you can tell me what you're looking for. Your friends don't need to know.
So he would say, I want more information on this dagger. I see it comes in two components. I want to know about them both.
Okay, I can do that. And then he'll kind of like close his hands again, and that bond is broken, and he'll gesture. Let me show you all to one of our study chambers, then we will bring you your tomes. We're not yet to the point in your studies where we grant full access to the library, but given a guided selection, we are more than happy to provide you tomes of items that we feel are within your realm of understanding. And so he shows you to a room within the library, and he like slides this door that kind of like slides into the wall, and they're like these beautifully like wooden doors, but very simplistic. The door handle itself is almost like a elongated book that looks similar to the symbol that he had on his shoulder that's above the entrance. And he slides it open, and there's this kind of like lounge room in there, and there's a fireplace going with like a warmth coming from the fireplace, and there are several couches kind of scattered within the room, and it's not huge. It's, you know, maybe like 10 by 10 or so, but there's like 4 or 5 couches. There's about 4 couches arrayed there. There are littler tables that actually like can be pulled up next to the couch, so like you could sit on the couch and have the table. There's also a few chairs that are kind of like pushed up against the walls that if you wanted to settle down, and there are also desks near like along the walls near where the chairs are situated. So if you wanted to use a desk, you do that. If you wanted to sit and lounge on a couch, that's there. All the while, there's kind of this gentle warmth coming from the fire. It's not going too hard because the general temperature as a whole isn't high, but it is cooler in the rest of the library. And then as you step into this room, you feel this kind of warm acceptance, like this warm, comforting feeling as you get in. He will then slide the door shut behind you guys, and a few minutes later, you will see there's a few humans that come in carrying books, and they start setting them down, like on one of these like side tables. And then Volas will step through the door. I do believe we found you at least a bit of information. I have narrowed down the choices a little bit. But yes, we've got some books here for you to peruse. Feel free to examine and take as much time as you like. If you need anything else, just come on out and I will be happy to help you.
Okay.
All right. You guys all taking a moment to look through your various tomes?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Very much so.
Give me investigation checks.
18.
18. Good. And you were looking specifically about your dagger and the various parts of the dagger?
Yeah, the dagger itself and the jewel that seems to have been sort of fused into it. Not like it looks like it wasn't originally crafted that way. Mm-hmm. That it was like the jewel was sort of brought to it and then sort of magically maybe fused together.
All right. Sorry, Mason, you said you got a
18.
18. Everyone else?
I got 7.
7.
I rolled a 24.
Ooh, okay.
Almost.
Starting with a 7. It's tough to find specific information about these things. You find a lot of information about stones of power, but as you're kind of flipping through this book, it doesn't seem to quite contain information about what you have experienced with this stone and the bond.
I'm actually holding the stone out whilst I'm flipping through the book. Do I feel anything from that?
The stone. Give me an insight check.
That's an 18.
Okay. You feel the stone is reaching out with some sort of sensation, like some sort of probing. And it seems to be reaching for some sort of knowledge. It kind of bypasses the book that you're in altogether, but is reaching out, and you can almost feel it wanting to will you further into the library, into other parts and other sections. Next, I think, was Golem, right? Shields with a 17? 18?
18.
18. Yeah, so you find some very knowledgeable books with very precise like diagrams on shields and structures of shields and notes on the best, not only like the best methods and the best tools and resources to use, like what components to make a good shield, like what metals last well, which woods work well, but also like structural design on how to disperse the energy from a blow, and very intricate. For an artificer, you find that to be very helpful, and you feel pretty confident that with a little bit of practice you can implement these and make high quality shields. Wolverax, you find not the specific dagger itself, but you do find knowledge about the jewel that's put on there, and you know that as you read through, you find that various people have crafted these fairly common magical items that are able to adhere to a weapon and allow you to channel your power through it and utilize that as like a focus and still wield your dagger and still have it in hand. The dagger itself poses a little bit of a strange conundrum to you. You've heard various items of power, and looking through here, you get hints of knowledge that there are items of power that can enhance your ability or cause ability to form or just tap into latent ability, but the author of the books that you kind of peruse doesn't seem to have drawn any definitive conclusions as to their origin or how exactly they work, but definitely hints that there's more knowledge that could be had, but you don't find it just yet. So Evan, you had a 24 or something?
Yes.
Yeah. And you were looking for floating discs. So you would find in there not only like theory on how it works, that's how it all starts, like theory of it and the magics that are used to combine and the evolution of the spell, but then you would also find a copy of the spell, Tensor's floating disc, whatever, written in the back of this book, and would be there.
I proceed to copy it into my spellbook.
All right. We will feel free to deduct the costs of that spell transferation from whatever. I think it costs about your diamond.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, it costs about 50 gold, I think, per spell level.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'd have to double check, but we can do that later.
Definitely. Yeah,
I
definitely.
think there was a diagram of like the shape to make the shielding, right?
Yeah, there would be very intricate drawings, notes, and all those things.
I'm gonna head to the librarian and ask him if I could get a copy of the page that has the actual diagram that shows me what the final shape needs to be and the process before that.
He'll look down. He's like, well, I mean, I can provide you a simple paper if you'd like to sketch it yourself. If you would like to pay for a scribe to make a copy of it, we can do so. It is 5 gold for that page. We can have a scribe copy it. It should be done in a day or so.
Paper would be nice. I'll try and copy it myself.
All right. And it'll reach into, like, there's a stack of papers and quills and stuff. I'll reach in and pull out a piece of paper and hand you a couple pages of, like, basic paper and, ink as well as a quill. Anything else you desire?
I think that's it.
All right. When you guys are done, just let me know, but leave the books in the room, and we will collect them and put them back in the repository. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and copy the diagram so I have the diagram so I can go make a shield.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you that with enough time and patience, you will be able to copy it well enough to recreate a shield design. And I think
Then when I'm done, I'm gonna head to the forge. When I'm done with that.
perfect. Yeah, I think you'd be able to do that. It is starting to get on the later side as it goes, but you know that the forge is pretty much always open, and you don't particularly need a lot of rest or downtime. So you're able to do that. The rest of you are able to complete your studies and head back to your rooms or whatever you would like. And I think at that point we'll end the session as far as that goes. Before we leave 100%, of course, we do want to do shout-outs. And I think mainly we just have our resident, like, actual pro streamer, Firefly Retro over there. But also, if everyone can tell, like, something that their class got or something they're excited about their class getting for level 2, and we'll end it up. So whoever wants to kick it.
Volvrax took Chromatic Orb for his level spell. He was sort of thinking whether or not he should take the diamond, the gift diamond, and just pocket for a bit of extra gold. But I think he's a little bit cleverer than that, and he took Chromatic Orb because it's quite a beefy little spell, that. So yes, I'm looking forward to making use of that at some point. Today was good. Thank you very much, Bill, for arranging this for us. It's good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me, and also thank you everyone for putting up with the technical difficulties. Last one was a very combat heavy, and I don't want it just to be every session to be a lot of huge combat. So I think a little bit of you guys getting to know each other as characters and getting to form personalities for them together will go a long way to making it, a more full storyline, and develop into things as we go and reveal things as we go. But Chromatic Orb was always one of my favorites, so I wanted to make sure the option was there, and 50 gold early on is tough, so figured that was a decent reward that could either give you the funds to copy a new spell or allow you to cast a pretty cool spell. Let's go to Greg.
I took Agonizing Blast and Repelling Blast. Just because the idea of adding damage and throwing something 10 feet away is interesting.
Field control.
I feel like that.
Yeah,
yes.
That's good. Awesome. Yeah, that'll be good. Depending on what spells everyone else takes, eventually you guys might form synergies, but pushing people into a bonfire is not a bad option. So
I'm looking forward to finding out about your little purple rock, Greg.
Yes, my little purple rock.
yes.
Will be revealed eventually.
Yeah.
We'll exciting!
Work that in. Mason, I think we saw some of your new abilities, but
Yeah, I have infused items now because I'm an artificer, and I chose to get the Tankard of Plenty, which allows me 3 uses a day for 3 things of Dwarven Ale, which is really nice. And also Goggles of Night, which gives me dark vision. And then I also took the spell Featherfall as my new spell.
We'll have to get you the Amulet of the Drunkard from one of
Right?
those things. And it'll be set.
I think I might be able to make that at a higher level. Because I think it qualifies for the items.
And last but not least, David.
Hey. So Evan was a bit perturbed and unnerved by the last game session, so he went ahead and took Mage Armor. And he was actually frustrated for not being able to hit the armor guy entirely with his spells. So he made sure to take a spell that would definitely hit no matter what. Good old Magic Missile.
Very nice. Can't go wrong with the Magic Missile spell.
And I also just note the first time I took damage, it was from friends.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it was going to be me as well.
Set up the PvP.
Thank you.
That was good. Thanks for organising that. Golem.
That was cool.
We should give a special shout out, not so much shout out, but a thing if we haven't done it yet about Hero Forge.
Oh yeah. Yes, forgot to so far. So Hero Forge has allowed us to use their images, though we do not represent them. We are not. Can't find where I wrote down the specific thing I'm supposed to say. We do not represent Hero Forge or Sky Castle LLC, and they don't know what we're doing, so don't blame them for anything I've done or said.
Yeah. Are strange things that we have created. So,
but we do love their products. They're not sponsoring us, but yeah, feel free to check out the Hero Forge minis at their website because it's always awesome. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thanks again for all the technical help and suggestions from our Firefly Retro. Check out her streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday on twitch.tv/Firefly Retro. Thank you to those who joined us in the Twitch chat, even the one we banned and then had to unban today. Because
So sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, dude.
Ban him again. Ban him again.
So, to let the audience know, and the future audience, we are going to have 2 new campaigns coming up, run by me. I will be doing one, hopefully every Monday or Tuesday, every other week, and one every Sunday. Each one's going to have pretty much just like a TV show, seasons and episodes and stuff like that. The one on Sunday is known as the Temples of Humlatik. It's going to be a Indiana Jones meets all the other genres that you can imagine, all wrapped in one, in this same world setting that this game is in. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The other one, I'm still working on the title, but it's going to be more jewelry, more on the opposite side of life. The party is going to be playing 10 to 12-year-old homeless children in Umberhaven itself. The whole idea behind that is hopefully we can survive to the next day. So, yeah. So that's what's coming up soon. So...
yeah, hopefully I'll be able to make that one. I won't be able to make the Sunday one at all, probably because of work. But yeah, it should be fun. We're going to have a lot more content as far as games coming out with those editions. Plus, hopefully, I can find the time to do some of the videos that have been rattling around in my head. Thank you all for joining us. In the future, if you want to join us on Twitch, please come, say hi and chat. And perhaps we can start doing some, if we have enough people with questions and stuff, do some Q&A after the session or during the mid-roll, depending on whatever works best. But thank you today for Penatellos and IWY Urinate, who, sorry.
We thought was a bot. Sorry. So sorry.
Again, so sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
So
yeah, sorry, not sorry.
yeah, right. Thank you again for joining us, guys, and we will see you next Thursday, 10:30 Pacific, 5:30
Next Thursday. Yeah.
Episode 4.